T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What the fuck?
Follow us on Instagram.
Better follow me.
At Philly Jamz 95.3 FM.
Good evening and welcome to The Rebirth. I'm your host, Shay Marriott, and you are listening to The Rebirth on Philly Jamz 95.3. Thank you for tuning in. Joining me tonight is my co-host, the one and only.
Hey, it's your boy Eli Isabel, a.k.a. The South Got Something to Say. Shay, I'm excited tonight, yo.
I know that's right.
Listen, hey, y'all, as a continuation of Father's Day, we're calling it Father's Day month. We're not
Yes.
just going to honor the brothers on that one day. We're calling it Father's Day month. And if you can see us, man, we have another nice round table for y'all tonight. We're going to get it cracking. We're going to have some fun in here. We got some... Look, we have such a diverse group. That's the part that's
We do.
it's
We
hilarious
do.
and
Yes.
exciting.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait for y'all to get a taste of these brothers, man. Shay, what's going on? Shay Boogie?
I'm excited. I'm excited, man. I mean, for one, you know, we're honoring men all month
Yes.
long, so that's important. I always hear that men do not get enough attention during Father's Day.
No, we don't.
So,
No, we
so
don't.
this is important, and I think that's everywhere. Even in the stores and the marketing of Father's Day and all of that, it's just not enough. So
You see them BS Father's Day gifts. What they have out socks and spatulas and new parts for your barbecue
Right.
grill. What they have for y'all? Diamonds and Coach bags and all of that. I'm like, what the hell? Why I don't want no damn
what's your
spatula.
Father's Day request?
To be left alone. Nah, you know what? I don't really have one. I did get one of my gifts already from my oldest daughter.
Okay.
She shocked me. It was very, very nice.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
what's up.
so I think I'll be treated well
Okay.
come Sunday. What are you planning to do?
For what?
Father's Day.
So thank you guys for joining us. You are listening to The Rebirth on Philly Jamz 95.3.
You got a daddy.
Tonight we have an awesome show. Oh yeah, absolutely. Tonight we have
Hello.
an awesome show. If you would like to call and jump in on the conversation, make sure you go to 267-908-3166. That's 267-908-3166. Make sure you follow us on all social media, Philly Jamz 95.3 FM and Philly Jamz 953 FM on Facebook. All right, guys. So tonight
Yes.
we have the brothers are in the building.
brothers are
and
here.
we're going to allow them to introduce themselves one by one. I have to say this first brother is very special to me because he is my brother.
All right.
He is my brother. So welcome to The Rebirth, bro.
Thanks for having me, sis. It's an honor and pleasure to be your brother. So, yeah, like she said, I'm Wade Lopin. We're out of South Jersey, Violin, Millville, Brixton. So, black businessman, owner of a pest control company. Bully
Yes.
Pest
Oh, that's what's up.
Management.
Yes.
Yeah, that is what's up. So, don't let the pest bully you. You need me, give me a call. If
That's
you're out in
right.
Jersey, 609-746-9449.
That's right.
That's right.
Shameless plug. I'm going to talk to sis about the sponsor.
Okay.
Next
you're
up.
Next, my name is Todd Edwards. I am political action chairman for the New Jersey NAACP and a board member for a nonprofit called Life Worth Living.
Yes.
Oh,
nice.
good stuff.
Welcome
Okay.
to the rebirth.
Man, okay. What we got to my right? My brother.
All right, you got Jarvis Thompson from Durham, North Carolina, by the way of Georgia, by my mother and my father.
The Ancestry.com up in here.
That's right. But I'm an educator, but most importantly, I run an organization along with my wife called Trunks of Love, where we give out trunks for students that's going to college for the first time, the first generation.
nice.
That's dope.
Yeah, that is nice.
That's dope.
So if you know any students that are going to college, go to trunksofloves with the S.org, and they can fill out the information, get a nice trunk to go off to school with.
Oh, that's what's up.
That's
Also,
awesome.
we,
yeah.
Stuff.
We partnership with Single Moms Incorporation, where we give out a lot of things to single moms that need things and need assistance as well. But for all the ladies that are single and want to come out this weekend, y'all can come to Uncork and Unwind with the Q's, with the bros.
Oh man.
This Saturday.
With a few good bros.
All right, we're gonna have a we're gonna have a little tasting. So come out and get your little sip, enjoy yourself, and get your two-step on.
I heard that. All right. Last but certainly not least.
Glad to be here. Von Kendrick Ginyard from Washington, D.C., by way of North Carolina, but now here live now in Bear, Delaware.
Okay.
But I pastor 2 churches in North Carolina, Graham's Temple Church of God in Christ and Refreshing Wells Church of God in Christ, praying about planting one in Milltown, Delaware.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. Also teach at St. George's High School. I'm an IT instructor, and I have my own business, my LLC. It's Vonography, The Perfect Shot. So
Nice.
if you ever need some images like that, reach out to me.
That's what's up, man. Welcome all of y'all, man.
Yes, welcome to
Listen,
the Rebirth.
phenomenal.
We do.
I feel like I ain't
Yeah.
doing nothing with my life when I listen to these brothers. I gotta get my life together.
Don't
These,
even try it.
listen,
You
these
do a
dudes is
lot.
doing everything. I
Don't
gotta
let him fool you. You
let
do
me
a lot
let me
with our
listen.
kids.
I'm because the pastor's here. I'm done selling dope tonight. I'm going legit. I'm gonna give me a real career out here.
Man, be yourself, man. No judgment.
Nah, I'm just
That's the second
joking.
show you done said that on now.
I'm gonna stop, Shay.
You
I'm
done
letting
had
it go.
FBI up here.
All right, let's get it cracking, man. Listen, tonight is definitely again in honor of the fathers and the brothers, man. We're much maligned, often criticized, and overlooked, man. So Shay and I decided last month that we were gonna definitely make this month about the brothers, man. And so I wanted to give phenomenal men that we've encountered last week and this week also, just give them an opportunity to talk about their life and the things they've been through, and sharing maybe we can touch somebody out there and influence somebody who's not doing what they need to do as a father, as a brother. Maybe this is a night you learn. So Shay, let's get into it, man.
Yes, let's get into it. So I know you had a couple topics that you want to touch on tonight.
Yes.
And I have a couple. So
Okay.
we're going to start off with. I'm going to bring up the incident that happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock. That was seen all over the world, the smack and all of that. Shortly after that, Will Smith checked himself into some type of mental facility, right? So my question to you is, what did you think about that situation? And did you feel that it was a mental health thing? Because this is going to segue into the question about black men and mental health. And what does that look like? So what did you guys think about that encounter? Was he pushed by Jada? When we're talking about the black family, was he pushed by his wife? Did he feel like he had to prove something, or what? What are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's a shame that a man has to sit back and feel as though he has to prove something to his wife when they're out and stuff. So yeah, he was definitely pushed. You seen the look, and he felt as though he had to react. So, me personally, it shouldn't have been handled that way. We all know it should have been handled a totally different way. But it does lead back to mental health. Yeah, because we should always do what we want to do, not what other people want us to do. So
Right.
When we start feeling like we're influenced by other people, then we have to check our own mental health, our mentality.
Right.
Absolutely.
Anybody else want to speak on that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's a deeper issue. The deeper issue that was never addressed. And so when you don't address issues and when you don't take ownership, sometimes you just react. When you make decisions out of your emotions, it affects your judgment. And that's exactly what happened. It was an emotional situation. I really can't speak to say that it was a Jada thing because I'm not in that household. You know, every household is different. They may walk down the same street, but it's a different corner, trust me. So, but still as men, we have a responsibility not to respond out of our emotions. And sometimes when you do that, it can be fatal. That was an epic night for black people, period.
Yes.
I mean, you had Adam Blackstone right here from Delaware, was the MD. And so you have black people hosting the first time MD, and it's just like it put a snare on us as a people. Sidney Poitier, all those people that carved the trail that we can now walk a path.
Right.
I'm not saying we can't walk that path now, but it's going to be hard because it's controlled by a certain group of people. And they're going to say, we give them a certain chance. And I'm glad my brother here is from the NAACP because I'm sure he can speak to it. I'm like, yeah. And so, you know, and so now we finally get this chance. So we're not going to give them nothing.
Right.
So this is how they're going to act.
Right. Yeah.
So.
For sure. Yeah. It sounds like he called you out. So.
So I'm gonna wear a bunch of hats tonight.
Yeah, I know that.
NAACP hat. But so I wasn't really going to comment on it because I'm not 100% sure that it wasn't all staged to still have us talking about it.
True.
months
That's
later
true.
on
That's
the podcast. Seeing all the similarities it had with a lot of the older shows, and it's almost identical to something that happened years back.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure that it wasn't staged.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know what? Speaking to that, and I'm going to be done with it. You're absolutely right. Because I've been on the big stage before. And I've been in the Grammys. I've been at the BET Awards. And nothing goes down in dress rehearsal. You don't think they went over that in rehearsal? On that platform, nothing goes down without being rehearsed.
Okay, let's just say it was, Jay, and we're going to get to you next. Let's just say it was staged. Like, why would they want to go along with that? Like, why would you say, okay, we can have Will come up here and smack me. We know it's not serious because we're behind the scenes, but why go along with that? You know what I mean? That's kind of like, that's why I feel like, I don't know if it was staged. And then again, another part too, as a man, if somebody smacked me, I'm naturally going to react. Even I don't care how big he is, I'm naturally going to react. I'm going to start swinging, biting the shit out of him or something. Like, it ain't.
It couldn't have been, he couldn't have smacked Jarvis. He couldn't have smacked Jarvis. He definitely
and walked
couldn't
away.
have
Yeah,
smacked me.
it's kind of like, that don't make sense to me. But yeah, anyway, that's my thought. Jay, what you think about it?
What happened. It needed to happen. That's why we're having a discussion about it. It happens in our households too. So it goes deeper than what they projected, what goes on the street. We talk about where it comes from, where it generates from. Like my man said, why we angry? Why we upset? Why we mad? Why we got all this built up? How can we release that without getting to that point?
Right.
You know, because that's all some of us know.
Yeah. Right. And I mean, that's a good point because it's happening on our streets every day. Every day, right? And a lot of lives are being lost, you know, black on black crime, you know. So with that being said, why is it such a stigma? Which it's getting a lot better in the black community, mental health. In your opinions, what do you think is, you know, why don't not just the black family, but black men in general, seek therapy?
Ain't nobody gonna listen anyway.
That's the thought.
See, I don't agree.
I'm just saying that's the way we feel.
Okay.
Okay, as a whole. Okay.
I'm not saying that's the outcome.
Okay.
That's why the doors are closed. Because we like, yo.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna listen. I might as well talk to God.
Okay.
And let it go.
We're supposed not to cry.
That's right.
I mean, we have to show our feel and suck it up and be a man.
But
You know, so.
but also it comes from the King Kong effect as well. That on every cartoon, on every movie, everything you see, we are the angry ones, the aggressor. They're never showing you assertive.
Militant, yeah.
They're never showing you assertive. They don't even show King Kong when he cries.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't emphasize on that. So we are that image when it comes to some things that's projected by executives. And in our own household, if we come up like that, then that's the only vision we see of
That's
ourselves.
all we know.
It's almost like the stigma of why black men don't go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, same thing.
Right.
growing up in our households, it's sort of negative to see a psychiatrist
Yeah.
or talk to
You're
somebody.
weak.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
problem. And the profession exists for a reason. And it's on our insurances for a reason. We as black people need to take advantage of it.
Well, you know,
Mental
brother,
health is real.
that is so
Yeah.
I'm glad you're saying it, because growing up, they always say, give it to God, pray about it. But how does that look?
Right.
How does that look? Okay, I gave it to God, then what? You go out and you shoot yourself.
Right, right.
You know, how does it look in the 21st century? How does giving it to God look? Show me how that looks.
And I get that, because that's like when we were brought here, that's all we had to lean on. So we went to God for everything. So and that's just been, I think, passed down through generations. Like, we pray about it.
But see,
Pray about it.
yes,
I kind of disagree.
but hold on, 1 second, Jarvis. I do agree. We went to God for everything from a faith perspective.
Okay. Right.
Okay,
Right.
But this from faith only. I believe everybody at this table believes. Everybody in this room believes. But why doesn't certain things come to pass? It's not because of your belief. He says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, not faith." God can't change what you do until He changes what you know.
Which
A lot
goes-
of stuff we didn't do because we didn't know, not because we didn't believe.
Right.
Which goes into what I
Wow.
was gonna say. It goes back to sitting at your patriarch and matriarch feet
Yeah.
in your family. You get your spirituality from your family. You know what I mean? You get your roots from there. But if you don't sit and see a God within the image of your own family, how can you pray to a deity? You know?
See,
Yeah.
that's deep. That's
Absolutely.
deep. But at the same time, I come from a household of 2 college-educated parents, and I had a brother that was killed when he was 16 and I was 13. I needed to see a counselor of some sort.
That was trauma. Yeah.
Real trauma.
Yeah.
That's trauma.
And my parents' answer to that was to move me from the town that the tragic accident to another. No counseling, move me, uproot me from the support system that I had.
And the trauma's still there.
Right.
And
The
the
trauma's
trauma
still
didn't go
there.
nowhere.
It moves
figure
with
it
you.
out. Right. And that
Yeah.
was 2 college-educated individuals that still didn't seek to get their child help. So what are we doing to the people who don't have, for the people who don't have
Right.
the education, and that stigma is still there. We black men and women need
Right.
to speak up and say mental health. It's okay to be okay.
Yeah.
It's okay
Right.
to be not okay.
And it's okay not to be okay.
Not
Yeah.
to be not
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah, we
said.
have to
Yeah.
normalize it.
So, right.
Yeah, you said it earlier. That's what
Yeah.
made me.
I like that. I like that, man.
But
Yeah.
I agree with you as well. But I want to ask you a question. Do you think your parents ever dealt with it? What type of therapy did they get, or did they think
So
that
I
was
asked
the best
the question.
therapy for them to
I
just?
asked the question. My mom said it didn't work for her. And I'm like, hell, you should have gave me the option. Let me, you know what I mean? Let me say it don't work.
Right,
It worked for
right,
you.
right.
But I mean, so, I preach it to the kids now. Like, look, it's okay not to be okay. Speak
Yeah.
to somebody.
That's right.
I volunteer in the school, in our local high school. We go around, what is your number for today? 0 to 10, 10 being the best. Somebody's at 3, let's pull you aside. Let's see what
Right,
it is.
right.
Let's did you talk to somebody? Because you obviously speaking out, it's okay. Then you explain that to them. It's okay now.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing because when I hear you say that, a lot of people come to me and they say, Pastor G, how do I deal with this? How am I going to get over this? That's the main question. How am I going? I said, look, you may not ever get over it, but you will learn to move differently.
Right.
Our executive
Right.
director of Life Worth Living, his first thing he tells the kids, man, life ain't fair. Let's get that
Right.
loud and clear. It's not fair. We'll move forward and figure it out from there.
Absolutely. Wow.
The one thing that when people come into therapy, so I am very proud to say that at least 95% of my patients are African American. So, and I do a lot of work with Black men. So when they come in, the first thing I say is congratulations for taking that first step, because I know it's not easy to just even call and make the appointment. So, but when you come into therapy, people have asked, why do you always go back to history? Why do you always ask for our history? Because it's so important, because generational trauma, a lot of this stuff is being passed down. Yes, we were told Black men are not supposed to cry, but who told the Black men that, right? It came
Right.
from parents, it came from uncles, it came from, who are moms, it came from whoever. But then what was they told when they were younger, right? So we're talking about generational trauma. If you look think about slavery. When, the father or the brother or the son was sold or pulled away, or the wife or the daughter was raped, no one suggested a therapist then.
Right.
So where did that trauma go? It was just passed down.
I think our parents, and I'm assuming we're all probably in the same age group. I'm just assuming. I think our parents only knew what they knew. You figure, I know some things that happened with my mother, and there's no way that my grandmother didn't experience that to allow that to happen to my mother.
Right.
So when things become normalized, okay, so this happened to my mom, this happened to my grandmother, this happened to my great, and it really does happen that way, because there's no sense of urgency to let me get her help or let me get him help, because this has happened 3 or 4 times before. So I think a lot of times our parents only know what they knew, and so the breaking the cycle really comes down to us and what we do with our children. You know what I mean? So I think that's an important thing not to overlook too.
I just actually read something today. It was interesting, and it said, you can't parent the way that you were parented. I.e., example.
I want to talk about that too.
Because that's the topic.
You can't tell a kid to be quiet and you're always yelling and screaming at them. You can't be beating a kid and then tell them to toughen up. You know.
Tell me to be quiet while you beat me.
Yeah, be quiet while you beat me.
Well, speaking of that, you just open up something. When I was growing up, this is one thing I've learned, that I got spanked by my grandmother, and I'll just go into this for a little bit. But the thing about it is, they loved us. They just came from a generation where they didn't tell us the words "I love you."
Right.
So they chastised, but they didn't restore us. When they chastise. Like now, I'll chastise my son, and I'll bring him aside and say, "Hey, I love you. I did this because of this right here. I'm
Absolutely.
trying to teach you discipline. So if I do discipline him in one particular way, I'm going to restore him every day. If I asked him right now, who are you? He said, I'm a genius and I'm a leader.
That's right.
Because you build faith by speaking faith.
Mm-hmm.
I speak over him every day. You don't go out of my presence without telling me who he is. Who are you? Hold your head up. Firm handshake. So
Nice.
I didn't get that because I grew up without my dad.
Yeah,
That's
right.
that you recognize that there was a problem there from your dad, from your father, and you wanted to fix it, and you took the fix it with your son.
And I think it's
I'm commend you
important.
for that. Yeah.
I mean,
It
it is so important as black men. But
Shay?
Oh, Shay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Shay said something earlier. No, I don't want to go back, but you said something earlier while you deal with black men.
Yes.
Sometimes black men may not go, or you say, I appreciate you taking that big step, because they feel it may take away their masculinity, or may
Right.
take away their
Right.
manhood or something, especially when they see a female that's sharp, and that has something that they need. Sometimes they may not even humble themselves to even come. So I commend you for being able to draw that out, because it's a real man that can say, hey, I need help.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away from who I am. It makes me more of who I am by me
Right.
being in your office.
Right. Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely. So that question, that comment, it just kind of went right into the question
the
that
next-
you have. Yeah.
So let's talk about think about how you were raised, and think about what similarities do you incorporate into your parenting, and what things have you completely thrown out? Like, do you parent the way you were parent at all?
Who wants to go first?
I will. So I've learned, my dad was my hero, my mentor, my role model. Successful business owner, funeral industry, 30 years in, great business still flowing. But didn't teach me the importance of credit. Cash heavy business, hell, just pay for stuff.
Yeah.
Credit is so important. And now I explain that to my kids. Like, your pop was that guy, we drove the big cars and all that, but I bet you he couldn't go get it on credit if he really needed it.
Pay gas for it.
So now I'm explaining to them the importance of credit, the savings, the things that I didn't get. What'd you say? Right, yeah, absolutely. So that is one thing I've taken out of my father's book, that was sort of a negative that I'm now spinning into a positive. So
That's
important.
good.
And you know what? Let me just to piggyback off of that. You know what my conversation was about credit as a kid. They told me 17, 18, make sure you keep your credit straight. That was the end of the conversation. Well, what the hell does that mean? I'm 17. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means pay my bills on time. I don't know what that means if you buy something, make sure you pay. What the hell does that mean?
So when I was in college, they would give you a Twizzlers. They would give you a Twizzlers to sign up for your credit card in the little area.
Right.
So my dad wouldn't explain to me. He would just see it come in and just rip it up. And it would just piss me off. So I would get it, maybe sent to another address or to the dorm room or however. I ended up getting the card and then doing the wrong thing with it, buying all my boys their Jordans on it.
no.
Not getting
It was a Discover card, wasn't
Right, I
it? Discover would hand
right.
them out, boy,
Right,
back in the
so,
day.
Instead of giving me the lesson, instead
Right.
of the music in the background, it's funny. But instead of giving me the life lesson and the importance of the credit card and to how to properly use it to build my credit.
Right.
So, I mean, it is what it is. My hero, my guy still.
Well, for me, it was a little different. And I say it because I didn't have my mother, didn't have my father. I grew up by myself from the 2nd grade to the 12th grade. There was nobody there. So I don't have those type of stories. And it was just one of those things, to make a really quick story. My father and my mother was very, very much in love. However, the church, you know how it is back in the 60s, you know, it's like, you know, she wouldn't make you a good preacher's wife. And my mother wanted to finish her master's. So 1 month before the wedding, she found out that my father married her maid of honor. It's like a Lifetime movie. So, no, girl. So she got on substance abuse, and there I was by myself. Raised myself. So it was almost like his hand was on my life. I knew what not to do. So it was, well, for me, it was like survival mode. I would watch Perry Mason, you know, a lot of times on TV to know how to deal and talk to people. Or the police would come into the door a lot of times. My mother's upstairs, and, oh, let us in. No, you don't have probable cause. I'm young, man. 4th grade, you know. I would run the shower because the smoke would come down. She's taking a shower, you know.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So
Wow.
I had you on the cuff. So now I have my son. What I do with him, because there was nobody at the PTA meetings. There was nobody at my undergraduate. There was nobody at my graduate. There was nobody at my my high school. Nothing. No football games. No basketball games. So it was really a void that when I got with Omega Psi Phi. Brothers. I never had brothers and sisters. I never had the pillow fights. My first pillow fight was with my wife. So when I got with the brothers, man, you know, tears came down my eyes. I was one that never expressed myself.
Right.
Because I could not believe it was the brothers of Omega Psi Phi being like a father to me, you know, filling the void that the church could not fill.
Wow.
Now, how about that?
Wow.
You know? And so now my son, what I do with him, I'm at his games, you know, I'm where I'm supposed to be because I don't want him to mirror. You know, now, do I hate my father? Man, I love that dude to life. I love my mama to life. He just passed away in 2020. That was my man. Sought him out, had a wonderful relationship. But that tenure that I had to live to be who I am today, I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't trade it for nothing because it's made me who I am today. And I'm pouring everything with balance into my son. I'm just not giving him everything that he wants. He needs responsibility. Like he took out the trash today. Not only did he take out my trash, but he took out 4 other people's trash as they was come. I said, get their trash. And he was glad to do it.
That's good
Thank
stuff.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
So I'm pouring it into him
Absolutely.
of what wasn't poured into me. So therefore, I'm using that as a stumbling, a building block. And I'm still growing, man.
That's
Right.
good.
That's
How
right.
old's your
That's
son?
right.
He's 6.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Getting them early.
Yes.
Early, I'm telling you, get them early, they're going to be all right. Yeah. You parent how you would parent?
Who the hell can follow that up?
No, you just be you, man. You know, and this brother right here, man, has been there for me, man. My God. I'm just saying.
You gonna follow that up, nigga? Raise
You got to let them go last on every question.
raise yourself.
It was tough.
Yeah, that's tough right there. You can't really beat that, Jake.
How you follow that up? I parent myself.
And he made it.
I'm the baby of 11. My closest sibling is 9. I used to go outside, bring a string bean can. Can you open this for me? He said, figure it out. So, nah, my mom worked all the time. My dad was, I don't even know my biological, but my stepfather, he worked. You know what I mean? Who's at home? Closest sibling I'm closest to is 9.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. But, you know, all of them were my parents.
Right.
You know, I get in trouble in school. I ain't even want to see my sisters. I can deal with my brothers. I got them. But I don't want to see my mama or my sisters. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
So, you know, I parent different in the way to, like y'all was saying. If I discipline my son, I tell him why I'm disciplining him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I give him a hug. I give him a hug. And then I tell him, I didn't know what it meant to be a nobleman. I said, but I figured it out by hanging with my sisters. So I give him this example. He still does it today. Told him when he was a young man, I said, you want to see a lady smile? He said, yeah. I said, hold that door. We still at the Wawa. He 18. And he holding doors because he sees shorties at the gas pump. Man, we gotta go, man. Hold on. So that shows him how to be noble. You know what I mean? How to be gentle. How to be, they're fragile. So treat them as such. But you got to get treated like that too. But you got to find the right one in order to do that.
Right.
So just life lessons.
Absolutely. Billy, did we get to you? I want to make sure I don't leave nobody out on this.
His name is Wade.
Wade. Who the hell is Billy?
That's the other brother.
That's my other brother.
My bad. Wade, my fault, brother. My bad, Wade.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry to hear y'all life was so rough. I grew up with a mom and dad. Nice cul-de-sac. They didn't have college degrees. They worked, you know. But we also got discipline, and we got discipline pretty bad. I would call it abuse. Yeah, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? It's hard to say, and going back to the recognizing and realizing that there needs to be a change, and we need to educate our kids instead of disciplining them all the time, or just brutally beating them.
Hold on, I missed that last part. What did you say?
Really beaten.
So my discipline is much easier because I have all girls, 6 girls. My oldest is 22, and I do got a 1-year-old. She'll be 1 in August, so I'm still going. I mean, 48. They said, when you gonna stop? I said, when that casket drops. So, you know what I mean? So I'm blessed to have 6 girls and 1 grandson. So
okay,
and
all girls.
You know what I mean? I just hope I'm here for enough time on this earth to put all the things that they need in them to make the right decisions when they turn 18 and become an adult. So
Don't feel bad, man. I'm 52.
I don't feel bad.
I'm 52 with a 6-month-old, so don't feel bad.
Applaud that. Applaud that now.
Right.
Hey, look. I'll be honest with you. I thought I was done, but it's not like.
No, I got it.
Look, every time I think I'm out, I get pulled back.
Took 9 months to get out of there to 9 years.
God said he put us on this earth to plentify and multiply.
Yeah, that's it.
To afford them in private schools.
Oh yeah, hey man, they expensive though.
Wow, sir.
That's a baby.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Spit up on the shoulder, baby.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Yeah,
You catching a hard time.
Look, man.
Look.
I had him yesterday. He looked at me and said, "Hey, but his head just a wobble." Hey, hold your head still.
Look, I got a question for you. How different is a car seat now compared to the last time you put one in a car?
Oh man, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be honest with you. I couldn't even put it together. It's like with the computer chip. It's a computer. What I do?
I got that car seat with a stroller.
They all changed.
The combo.
They all changed,
Wow.
man.
I went to the sheriff's department to get a lesson when I had to do mine because I wasn't comfortable. It's so high tech.
Right.
Wow, that's hilarious.
That's great. So Shay, do you parent differently than how you were parented? I mean, do you parent differently than how you were parented?
I have sons. I have 2 sons. Yeah. So I would say yes.
In what way?
Absolutely, because you should. I mean, you should I should have done better than what my parents did, and my kids should be doing better than what I'm doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in order for that to take place, something has to be different. I have to
Right.
move differently. So yeah. I wasn't expecting you to ask me that.
That's why I did it. I like to put you on the spot.
But I do parent. I do parent differently. Okay, so what I will say is I have conversations with my sons. Like my sons will come to me and talk to me about anything, Whereas when I was growing up, you stay in a child's place. You know,
Don't sit on the furniture.
why did you, you know, well, why can't I? Because I said so. You know, you might hear that a little bit, but I believe you said it. It's important to say why you're disciplining, and so they understand.
What does it say? Rebirth, renew, rebuild,
Right.
and then what?
Restore. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So that is definitely different. You know, for me. You know.
Is there anything you do the same as your parents, maybe?
So I was always involved in church and always had a relationship with God, and so does my son. So that's something that is that was very important for them. So my sons would pray over, like, you know, of course I have been sick a couple of times. My sons would come over and lay hands on me and pray on me and pray over me. You know,
That's dope.
That is good stuff.
That's dope.
I talked to them about how a lady would like to be treated. Right?
Important.
And their father, I'm divorced, but their father and I, we have a good relationship. But their father, you know, he talks to them from the man side of it, you know, and I show the boys what it looks like from a female side, you know. So, you know, they're great kids.
I know you
know,
boys.
yeah,
They're two very
they're great
respectful.
sons.
Very respectful.
Very, very blessed to have them. Shout out to Xavier and Bryson.
Sir.
What are their ages?
Because I know Xavier's listening.
What are their ages?
My oldest is 17, and Bryson, my youngest, is 15. He'll be 16 in August.
Dang.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy. I feel like when I met you, they was like 5 and 7 or
You
something.
can tell she loves me. She getting emotional.
I do.
Tissue.
Because my oldest is graduating next year, and I'm just like,
And you know what? You should celebrate them, and you should speak life to them because you know so many of our young men are getting cut down, and to see them graduate and to pour into them. Like when I see graduate, if I have something on me, and I'm like, you don't know me. I said, nah, I'm just sewing into you, man.
Yeah.
Make something of it. It's not much, but I should say congratulations for making it. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
And our kids don't hear that enough.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? They don't. So I work, one of my jobs, one of the 20 I have, I work for Wilmington Head Start. And one of the things that I see already so early is these kids, whatever their little self-esteem looks like when you're 3, it's already gone. They're already being talked to bad. They're being cursed out. They got these young moms that come in smelling like weed, and they're trying to drop them off so they can get back to doing whatever they're doing. They're crossing the street. You're not holding the kids' hand. Well, hurry the F up. Get your, you know, and this is, it's
Babies
7:30
having
in the
babies.
morning.
yeah.
This 7:30 in the morning. So this is how this kid starts his day.
Yep.
Like, so it's really, really, it's disheartening, but I do know why we do what we do, because after he gets all of that right there from his mom, then he comes to us, and then we get to love on him and love him up. But it's really a hard thing to look at. So yes, speaking life, I do believe into that. I do believe that, and I try, and I know Shay does too. We try to speak life into people daily. Not only is our job, but out of love for our people. So it's hard out here, man.
It's bigger than, I mean, life is bigger than you. If you're stuck on yourself, then that's a problem. It's bigger than you. You're here for a reason.
Absolutely.
A
But you got to
purpose,
think
so,
energy
yeah.
transfer. It never dies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's why you see when people are pushing out, they're pushing negative energy away, pulling in, they're bringing in affirmations and stuff like that. But it's energy. You know what I mean? You see somebody negative, you get on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
Our kids are coming in with that defeated mentality before they even wake up. One, because they're not resting. You know, we was joking earlier, and you said what the men want. You said to be left alone.
I was kidding, by the way, y'all.
No, that's the truth.
In case my lady watch.
He telling the truth.
He telling be left alone after Sunday.
Right,
Get all you gonna get on Sunday.
But the point I'm getting at, kids today don't get no quiet time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't nobody want to be alone with themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
They got their binkies, the cell phones. I call them binkies.
Yeah.
So they're always getting information. I think we're better parents today because of that information, but more importantly, because of our life experiences. All right. So my corporation is called Miles Inc. Men Initiating Life Experiences for Structure.
Okay.
Right. So I'm a firm believer. If I see Ed do a backwards flip, and if I can't, because I saw him and he see that I can't, he'll help me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that begins a communication. Now that begins a bond. That begins a friendship. You know, I don't believe if he was just say, I'm gonna write it down for you, go learn it, that I would be able to receive it. as if him telling me, hey, yo, man, when you grab your legs, tuck your head.
Right.
That's gonna help you get over. You know, little things like that. Now, we're both on the same mattress, don't know each other, but we was introduced by something athletic. Men are physical. We're physical creatures. You know what I mean? You burn us out, then you can get down, peel those layers back, and get to really understanding what we do and how we think. But for the most part, we have to do that in a quiet place.
Right.
And I think our kids aren't getting that because before 7:30 a.m., they coming in all swole up because of what happened the night before.
Right. Right.
At the end of the day, it's how Pastor Woody led in prayer, and it all starts with love.
That's
bro.
right.
From being
That's
a
right.
grown man, we need love, to the kids. It all starts with love. That's the common denominator, and I think
That's
you can
right.
reach everybody. Sometimes in the house, they just don't get the common love.
Or their experiences.
And you know what? Something that you say that because I heard somebody say one time, you know, they said, "Well, I love you," and then it comes with a hit, boom. So this lady, she testified one time, and this guy said, "I love you," and she did like this. He said, "Why did you jump?" She said, "Because you was getting ready to express your love, and that's all I knew how love
Wow.
was." Because after he would beat me, he would say, "I love you, I love you."
Trauma.
So
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that what you said is true. Love has to be defined because people differentiate it in so many different. What is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because all of us have been shown a measure of love to what we depict love is, and so I may say, "Oh man, that's not love." Oh yeah, it is, and you may say, "Yeah, it is," but no, it's not. Because
Yeah.
all of us here may have experienced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different types of love, of what people say love, but what
Right.
true it is.
Right.
Wow.
Pastor, I can hang up the phone with you, and before I hang up, bro, I love you. And sincerely mean that
Absolutely.
openly. I'm not
Yeah.
in love with you or none of that. But bro, I love you. You know what I mean? As a man,
That's
man,
it.
I love you.
Men,
Yeah.
black men don't say that enough.
And
to
I didn't
each
hear
other.
it in my household growing up. And
Nah.
I tell my kids,
Nah.
I tell my
So
friends,
that
I
was the
tell
question I was going
everybody,
to
I love
ask later. I was going to ask that.
Well, John was telling
from
me
a
he love me
different
all the time.
perspective. Yes.
You're like, "What's going on, baby boy? You need me to come pick up your boy?"
I think we're better though. I think because
because-
that was all like toxic masculinity that we all
Yeah.
grew up under. How to not to cry. Get up. You fail.
Right.
You'll be all right. Get up.
Absolutely.
Suck it up, little. You know. And I think we grew up under that umbrella of foolishness, and which causes us to attack each other so often. It's false bravado and it's toxic masculinity that has us among a whole lot of other things. But this is also a part of the reason we are the way we are to some degree, even with our relationships with our brothers or with our women. It's just we got off. Some of us got off on the wrong foot with relationships, and it just comes from how we were raised and who. If you had a dude who was a player pouring into you, then you probably gonna end up being like that. If you had somebody who was positive pouring into you, then you're probably gonna be that. So it really does matter who you're around and who the influences that you kind of deal with.
Without a doubt, it goes
Yeah.
back to what she was saying earlier about, just coming to talk with about mental illness and things like that. You just come and just release. A lot of men don't have no outlet except for like sports or something. But most men that I know are very intellectual, highly intelligent, and they don't have nowhere to express that because they're holding into so much anger.
And what about when you're shamed for being smart, for being in the gifted classes? That's a whole nother thing that throws us off. Like it's cooler to be dumb.
As a youth,
It's cool. Yeah, it's cooler to be stupid.
As an adult, that's cool.
It is cool.
That's super dope.
Nerds are cool.
I told my son, I said, boy, I wish I had your parents. He just graduated. He went on a cruise. He went to Orlando. He went to, flying by himself doing his things, but he's been doing it as a baby. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I said, I wish I had your parents. Not that my parents was bad, because I'm here.
Your life is pretty good for you, though.
I'm here. Yeah. But I'm like, yo, you got a mother and a father, grandfather, uncles, aunts, people in the community just pouring into you. It's just not us two, it's the community.
Yeah.
So if he know all of y'all, he ain't gonna trip. He know not to. He know not to. Because one, he's disrespecting your presence. And that's what I think we learned from our generation. You can't cut up, because if you do, you're gonna get cooked and cut over here. Then you gotta go across the street. Now you still gotta go run an errand for one of them. Then come back and get it when you get home. So
Right.
I
that was the difference back in the day. It was a community.
It was the love.
If you got in trouble, the next door neighbor could get on you, and
Yeah.
then you got in
Yeah.
trouble at home. Like we have to get back to being that community. It's like I remember my grandmother one time said, "Go to Miss Ford and tell her give me 2 eggs. Let me borrow 2 eggs, make a cake." She was short on it. She gave her 2 eggs.
Yeah.
You know, when she went to the grocery store next week, she gave it her 2 eggs back. It was like a community. Everybody in the
Yeah.
neighborhood knew
That's
you.
true.
You know, and you, yes, ma'am. You got in trouble. We had to be inside before the street lights got out. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, you know, wow.
Now, my neighbor could literally whoop my ass.
Yeah.
My mom
Yeah. Me too.
Nothing. You try to whoop your neighbor's kid's ass now. Parents gonna.
That's not happening.
It's gonna be a rumble. Yeah, it's gonna be a rumble.
Yeah, man. See, yeah, you came from the right neighborhood, man. They raised you right. They raised you right.
Yeah. You're listening to The Rebirth on Philly Jamz 95.3. If you want to join the conversation or you have a comment or question, please give us a call at 267-908-3166. Again, that's 267-908-3166. Shout out to Gregory Handy. Gregory was on a Rebirth last week.
What up,
We
Greg?
had a great show. My mother said, who was your mom? That wasn't me. She said, I didn't have a lot of trouble from you. Knock on wood. Smile. Thanks, Mom. I know I was a good girl.
Oh Lord, Miss Eileen, whatever she did do,
Whatever.
call in,
I'm
Miss
making up
Eileen,
now.
267. No,
Gregory Handy said, it takes a village to raise a child. Absolutely.
Dude.
All right. So that kind of leads into another question that I had. How important is it to be a role model in the community and mentoring? And do we have any, sounds like all of you have some hands in the community doing something. So
I think it's vital because we're educators, and I often tell students is that I'm your parent away from home. I'm your daddy. Simple as that. I am the law. When your mama and daddy come up here, they gotta converse in order to get some understanding. Just like you would if you had a wife and y'all disciplined your child or whatever. Y'all gotta talk about it, So we have to do the same there, but we have to give them an experience away from home that they don't get at home, but give the same foundation as well from a morality and love that they got at home, because they get love. They just don't acknowledge it as that because there's so much other mess going on.
right.
Yeah, I agree. With me, something just happened at St. George's High School. I'm the IT teacher there. And for the very first time, at least 9 brothers signed up for my shop for IT. And I'm like, why is it a big deal? Because this is my first year there, transferring from another school, taught at Howard University. So now I'm in a school here. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. And some of the guys came up and they said, hey man, you one of us, man. We don't see that. So I said, oh wow. So now they see me. They see themselves. Because a lot of times when we go in certain arenas and certain atmospheres, we don't see us.
Right.
Yes.
And so they just wanted to be a part of the shop and be a part of the program because they saw themselves.
Right.
And they saw somebody that, hey, I can do it. So now it's bigger than me.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about teaching IT. I got to cross every T, dot every I. And if I do make a mistake, own up to it. Hey, I'm never going to stop being a man. I made a mistake. Ask for forgiveness. Let's move on from it.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
That's good.
Nah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So, for me, it's important to be a role model because, we got so many young youth out there looking at us as adults. We have to be a positive example because there's negative example. We're just there waiting for us not to get that kid that attention because they're gonna get that attention to them, and that's not what we want. That's why so many people are getting gunned down now because the lack of fatherhood in our community. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is why we're having our problems that we have today. It didn't start today. You know what I mean? It started years ago. So that seed was planted, and now that's what we're reaping. And so we need to step up and start being, like you said, the fathers, the kids that aren't your kids.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We got to make sure not only our kids are all right, their friends, our community is all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another question with that because, and I agree with everything that you guys are saying totally. But I also see where the pushback comes from the kids. Like, you're not my dad. You don't tell me what to do, whatever. How do you handle that?
Shut up. So that's what I got from my parents.
Right.
You know what I mean? But no, for real, you just peel that layer back because that's that layer. I'm gonna give you an example.
Right.
A young lady was bringing me my lunch that she went and got for us, and I'm just standing by the door waiting on it. This kid was just beating on this lady's door, on a Spanish teacher door, and saying vile stuff during the month of Ramadan. And he's dressed and clothed. I just immediately turned to him and screamed on him. He screamed back.
Mm-hmm.
Who you? Who you? Who you want me to be?
Mm-hmm.
I said, by the way, you look good, man. I said, but do you think Allah be doing, he want you to do this?
Yeah.
Right,
And you get ready
right.
to make salat in 30 minutes?
Wow.
He calm right down.
Mm.
Didn't say nothing, left.
You checked them.
Every day after that, he come in, Mr. Thompson, you got a mask? How you know my name? How you know where my classroom at? And now we got a decent relationship.
Yeah.
He know to come in, get some pizza, get some grub, chill out. How you doing? You all right? You good?
Yeah.
You need a hug?
Right.
Give me a hug, because I need a hug. This drive to Philly is a problem.
That's good.
It was cool that you was able to break it down to his level. and
Yeah.
get him
Yeah.
Exactly.
where he's
Yeah.
got- and that's the
Yeah.
problem.
But you
Other
had to meet-
teachers
you
is
gotta
not
meet- you gotta meet him where he at.
figuring that out.
But their
That they
hands
have
are
to relate
tied,
to.
too.
Find something to relate to.
Their
that
hands
kid.
are tied, too.
Yeah, you know what? Because I think I can safely say, I'm gonna speak for me. We come from the generation of children are to be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even now, if a kid talks back to me, it's still a little jarring.
Yeah.
I deal with it, but I really want to do what my mother would have done. But this is a different time. However, we do have to meet them where they are, and we have to listen to these kids.
Yes, sir.
They don't listen. The only time they express themselves a lot of times is when they're acting out. That's how, and that's it, man. We have to really understand that. And the days of shut up and sit down, that's with these kids today, that's over.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I've learned, like you said, you want to wring their neck. With me, I've learned that sometimes you got to take the L to get the win. And
Yeah.
just because you
Okay.
take the L doesn't mean you lost.
Yeah. You
It
gotta
means
lose the
that-
battle to win the
Yeah,
war.
it just
Yeah.
means that, that there's something bigger. So, you know what? You got it. It's almost called like verbal judo. Like,
Yeah.
you got it, man. I don't want you to hurt me, man. Not saying that, I got like at least 14 years of martial arts experience, but you know what? You can hurt me. Listen, man, you got it. And when you take that role, that stance, yeah, man, and that's just another way of building a relationship,
Right,
as John
right.
said.
Absolutely.
But sometimes you gotta take that L, so hopefully you'll get the win.
And you disarmed him
yeah,
in that
without
way.
even knowing he's been disarmed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the same way with Kyrie, man. And now everybody was surprised when he graduated. And they told me, why he get $1,000? Because he graduated. You know what I mean? Some people don't make it there. As men, we're not supposed to make it to 25. As black men,
Right.
in my school, we got the west side. So
Yeah.
kids come to my classroom doing all that TikTok, which drive me crazy.
Yeah.
I go out there and tell them straight up, man, get off my block. But you got 5 black men in the same corner repeating the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're unicorns. They don't see that.
Yeah.
They definitely don't see it in elementary, where they get their foundation.
Right. Absolutely.
They rarely see it in middle school, and you might not see it at all in a high school.
Elementary now is becoming like
If
high school.
you
It's
do,
on
he's
that
not an
level, man. It's like-
if you do, he's not an educator. He's a disciplinarian.
Yeah.
He's climax.
Interventionist or something. Yeah.
He's the police. You know?
Wow. This is good.
This is good.
This is good.
So Shay, I know that our guests give long answers, so I think we might be had good for one more question
Yeah.
before
yeah,
we
we're
get to the
good.
end.
Yeah, you got it.
Shut it up. So listen.
We can keep going for a little bit.
All right, we good. So really quick, I think one of the more important things as black men that sometimes we also don't get credit for being there, being present with our women, with our wives, you know, people we've been with. If we can, let's kind of touch on that narrative that we black men don't get married. Black men aren't with black women. They have 8, 9 different women. Let's.
Nah, you pointing at me. I got 18 years of marriage and one woman happily married. I mean, not all 18 was the best 18 years. All the ups and downs was not in between the sheets, trust me. But we worked them out. Came from a family of, we don't accept divorce. You figure it out. My parents were together to the end. And Lord knows all those were not good years, but they were good because I had structure in the house with 2 parents.
So, what advice would you give to young brothers out here that are like running the streets with all these women and making these babies? Any word for that?
Get a vasectomy. don't bring no babies in the house. That's a problem. Be respectful. Do you know what I mean? Be respectful.
All right.
Don't throw it away. Don't throw your relationships away. Try to work it out. Like
Fight.
I could catch my wife being having infidelity. I'm gonna work it out. It's the God's honest truth. Not giving her permission. Well, I have too much invested into my family as a whole. We'll figure it out. And she won't. She ain't gonna say the same about me. You let me catch you cheating. It's gonna be. I'm out of there. But there's just don't throw it away. Make
Family is important.
It's extremely.
It's
And I don't want no one
it's
else
actually a
calling
representation of love.
Yeah.
I don't want no one else calling my kids calling them daddy. You know what I mean? I'm daddy.
Right on.
Not only is it a representation of love, it's the first institution that was even before God established the church. That there was family, and so for me, it's very important. Let's say my dynamic is different. So it's important for my son, to Carter, to see a healthy relationship.
Absolutely.
In the house. Now, I can respect my wife all day long in front of him, but that's not really it. It's respecting her when she's not around. That's the
There
thing.
you go.
You know.
Yep.
You know, it's like I'm coming home to her, she's coming home to me, and it's just that to let my son see it. So when my wife comes in, I stand up. That's just what I do. As soon as she come in the house, if I'm sitting down, I automatically get up because I want him to know that's how we want to honor her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying. And then this is something. It's like it's trial and error, but I want him to see that when she comes in.
Y'all
I give her
catch
a
us
kiss.
at ChristianMingles.com.
Do she do the same for you when you walk in?
Oh yeah, she does. I mean, not as often, but she's tired and stuff like that. But the most thing was, I want him to see how I respond.
Right.
And so that's just important. So when she comes in, and he'll run to her like, oh man, he'll kiss her first before I kiss her. Say, you taking all my kisses, and he'll grab her face. Da, 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 da. I just want him to see a healthy relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
So I try to practice that in the house, and I try to practice it outside the house, so you can see.
Yeah,
How long
absolutely.
you been married?
8 years.
8 years.
And here I am yelling, "What we having for dinner?" I got some work to do.
But you have to think also, women do a lot of stuff that honor us as well. You know what I mean? We was kidding earlier talking about we get socks and stuff like that, but there's a lot of stuff that we lack that women, it's the yin to our yang. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
people be like, some guys can't dress themselves, the wife's dressing. Okay, you know what I mean? Some wives can change oil.
I need one
You
of
know
them.
what I mean? I'm not saying they should
Go
do it,
rotate
but
these ties.
you can't put one thing on what men do or what women do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always an 80-20.
Always.
You know, all they ask us to do is be attentive. We're physical.
Love on us a
Communication.
little bit. That's it.
Yeah.
Tell us
Yeah.
that. We got you.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, man. Give us back a little bit what we give you.
Yeah.
Because it
But-
don't take a lot to make us happy.
Speaking on marriage, though, back in the 50s and before the 60s, the black family was the most married family in the United States. So I want to touch on some things. When the drug pandemic kicked in, who started leaving the home?
Black
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Who started dying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went to the penitentiary,
Yeah.
right?
But
Okay. Now when the
that
90s
was designed.
when the 90s hit, now the women are getting RICO laws for trafficking. Now they're being taken away. who's left to run the asylum? The kids. They're gonna raise themselves. And I'm speaking from a Zoom perspective. This pandemic, and they had to have school on Zoom.
Right.
And so
Right.
you have some people saying, where's he at? His camera's never on. It's this and that. You haven't taken the time to find out. He got 4 little siblings. He got to get them right for school.
Yeah.
He got to take care of the house. Mom at work. Dad at work.
2 jobs.
You know what I mean? Why is he at work when he's supposed to be in school? Work is more important. That's
Right.
life.
Right.
You know, that's life.
Survival.
But
yeah.
we as parents, educators, community have to be able to listen and hear that and be attentive to that to know what the kids need. You know, I think that's what we got from our community and that we're pouring back into these kids now, you know, because I see a lot of kids, they want discipline. They want
Well, they starve.
They crave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want
Yeah.
somebody to care.
they just want you to show them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't want to figure it out by themselves. But a lot of them have to because who's left to run the asylum?
They want to know that they're cared for, and they want to know that somebody loves them.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a student, his dad died last week, got shot 15 times in Philly.
Wow.
And I couldn't speak in the meeting because I couldn't fathom waking up in the 10th grade without my stepfather, let alone my dad. You know what I mean? So how do I deal with that? I can't go outside because they shooting outside.
Yeah.
Who can I talk to? So I gotta be into this virtual bubble, which is not healthy for us because we're plants. You gotta go outside.
And then psychologically, it messes with you because Father's Day is coming up. Where all the
Oh, yeah.
attention is going to be on Father's Day. So that plagues your mind psychologically. So how am I to think when I leave here? So what thoughts do I have when I do decide to think? My thoughts have brought me to where I am today. It's going to be my thoughts going to bring me where I'm going to be tomorrow. So looking at this whole situation, how am I going to process this? Everybody wants the promise, but if you negate the process, you negate the promise. Because there's no promise without a process. So
Right on.
you got to go through that. Dealing with that, what Jarvis just said, that's hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And who is to say that, oh, just get over it? Nah, I'm still dealing with my father.
Yeah.
And he passed away in 2020. I'm still dealing with that. You know, I wake up in the morning, sometimes I just had tears in my eyes. Why did I have to grow up without my parents? You know, I'm asking God, like why? I still have those solemn moments where I'm by myself, where I ask questions, man.
And that's
You know?
all trauma.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and watch
yeah.
this, and watch this, and then when I get out, I gotta go be dad, and he'll come up to me, Dad, you okay? He'll put his hand on my head and say, it's gonna be all right. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who you talking to? How you? Wait a minute,
old
man.
soul.
You know what I'm saying? And like
Yes.
here I am, it's reverse. You know, I'm like, and it's okay. You know, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's a undergoing, because the energy in this room, you know, I'm like, wow, I learned a whole lot, bruh. NAACP,
Yeah.
all the, you know, it's just the whole perspective. Shay, you know, I'm glad to be here because this is a form of therapy.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
And
yeah.
watch this, it's a healthy environment. The atmosphere is lit because we're accepting, we understand each other's role, and we're embracing that. And at the same time, like, wow, man, you know, I'm learning, I'm being helped at the same time. You know, that's good stuff.
Rebirth, baby.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's what we do.
This is why we do it.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Does anybody have any parting words? I know we're a little bit over. I know Ty said we was good. Then when Ty said you good, you ain't good. So does anybody have any parting words before we get ready to wrap things up? And before you do, I just want to say, man, this has been definitely a pleasure for me. I want to thank all of y'all for coming, man. It's always a pleasure to be in the presence of strong black men. You know what I mean? Because I always
Yes, it
learn.
is.
Yeah, it's definitely a pleasure. So just thank y'all, man, before we get into what?
My last little shout out, July 14th through the 20th, the NAACP National Convention is being held in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Oh, nice.
So
All right.
it's going to be a lot of good black and brown folks down in the AC, so come check us out.
Nice. Okay.
See if my membership
You
is
know, I
still
just want to
active.
give Shay a shout out for providing us a platform where we can come in and speak about real things that's going on in our communities and in our households. So, know what I mean?
Oh,
It takes a strong
thank
black
you.
woman to hold a strong black man. To get up
Absolutely.
Together, you know what I mean? So there's never a good woman behind a good man. She's always on the side.
She'll always beside.
Right.
Aw.
Right.
He's standing tall.
Hey,
That's what's up.
it's written
Thank
on the
you, I
it's written on the
appreciate it.
hieroglyphics, right? It's written on the hieroglyphics. She's not behind him. She's standing right beside him with her arm around him,
Mm.
holding him together, making him an upright man. Goes back to disappointing my sisters. Shucks, no. But yeah, man, this was a great show, great platform. I'm gonna send y'all my cash app because we ain't have to pay no payment for this therapy.
Hey.
It's free. So,
I just want to say,
yeah.
I just want to say, great show, great platform. Thank you for having me. Hope it won't be
Yes.
the last time we can all get together. Strong energy tonight.
Yes,
Absolutely,
yes,
man.
absolutely.
Definitely appreciate y'all. Definitely.
Yeah, I would
And
love
Charles,
to.
I want to thank.
You can call. You can call. Touche, brother. Touche. It's all right.
I got you, man.
Nah, you do it. You're an excellent host, co-host. You know what I mean? Really
Oh man, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
I would like to personally thank each and every one of you. It's been an honor and a blessing. I love doing what I do, and it's so important to me. And you know, this is just our way of healing the Black family. You know, this show is our way of educating. You know, in regards to rather it's healthy relationships, mental health, you know, parenting, marriages, whatever it is, you know, community, just healing the community. That's what we do here, and that's what Rebirth stands for. So again, thank you guys for coming in, and absolutely you're more than welcome to come back anytime.
I thank the viewers
I
too,
would just
man.
say
Because,
this.
Yes, sir.
Is there any way that if there's any other way besides being here that we can support, I can support, just let me know.
Oh, thank you.
We got some ideas. Hold on.
my cash app is.
Y'all need to come bring this to the convention. Come do a show live in Atlantic City.
I would love to.
Hey, let's talk about
I
it.
would love to. Absolutely. I would love to. We're going to be live next week at a health and wellness fair, and then we're doing a live podcast at the Riverfront in Wilmington at the Juice Joint. I believe that's going to be in July, and where I'm going to have a male and female panel. So I would love to have you
Yeah.
guys back for that. And that's going to be in front of a live audience. So yeah,
That's
so
gonna be
there's some
dope,
Great
so-
things. But yeah, hook that up, brother Todd.
which is why I want to have my young boy. I want him on that panel too. I think it'd be good to have that diversity.
Corey.
Hey, good dude right here, very intelligent, wise beyond his years. I was so impressed with him,
Yeah.
man. 24, man. I was blown away. I was so stupid at 24. He up here kicking knowledge. I was like, John.
That's what he's supposed to do.
Yes,
That's what
sir.
he's supposed
Yes,
to
sir. So.
Shout out to everybody that has tuned in from Facebook and social media. Shout out to, I see you, Mike Klein. Thank you for tuning in, bruh. And Radio Shack was here last week.
My
Thank
man.
you for tuning in. So we are so excited. And again, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's
Yes.
Day. to
Happy
everyone.
Father's Day, gentlemen.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We're going to continue to celebrate and uplift you for the month of June. And days on after that.
I was about to say,
right?
please. Hello.
Days on after that. So, anybody else got anything else to say before we? Okay, so as you know, I have finally released a book. It's called My Rebirth Self-Healing Journey.
Yes.
Journal. So
Yes.
make sure the link is on the screen. So make sure you check it out. It's a healing journal, and it also has mental health techniques, coping skills, all in one that you can use. And again, June 18th, which is this Saturday, we're going to be at the Health and Wellness Fair in Middletown, Delaware. We will be live there. Check us out. Philly Jamz will be a part of this event from 9 to 12. If you are still looking to be a vendor, make sure you contact theamazingcorner.com. All right. So that is our show. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. Make sure you tune in every Monday night at 7 p.m. here at The Rebirth. Until then, God bless and have a great night.
Right.
Instagram.